This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated.
Good evening. Welcome to the Jamie Glazov Moment. Tonight, the top 10 facts about Michael Flynn's plea, what the establishment media doesn't want you to know. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I want to talk about the top 10 facts about this vicious witch hunt that's being conducted by the left against Michael Flynn, but of course many others, and overall, of course, against the Trump administration. Before I begin in terms of these top 10 facts, just want to give credit to three individuals that have inspired a lot of this information. Just brilliant work. Alan Dershowitz, many of his television appearances and how a lot of what he has to say has been quoted in our media. Andy McCarthy at National Review, just brilliant work. And Daniel Greenfield at his blog, The Point, at frontpagemag.com and also at Front Page Magazine. Just want to give credit to those three individuals and their amazing and brilliant work. Let's begin with the top 10 facts about this witch hunt right before our eyes, about the Flynn plea and also what's going on against Donald Trump and his administration. And you're not going to see this on CNN and MSNBC, and when you do, they cloud a lot of this stuff. Let's begin with number 10. Ladies and gentlemen, there's absolutely no collusion. There's no collusion that has been proven, that has been indicated. The collusion between what this is supposed to be all about is the Russians and the Trump officials during the campaign allegedly were colluding to beat Hillary Clinton. Nothing of this has been found. Nothing of this has been proven. So, for instance, you would think that, you know, when they were eavesdropping and surveilling, and, you know, they overheard maybe Flynn talking with Kislyak, you know, maybe they would have found that, you know, there would have been some Russian official talking about Igor and Ivan and Dmitry, and they were, you know, drinking Smirnoff vodka while they were driving the Americans to the voting booths to vote. Or, you know, they were putting chips in Americans' brains, you know, and the Trump officials were helping Igor and Ivan, you know, putting chips in Americans' brains to vote for Hillary, or whatever was going on. Nothing of this sort has been found by any means. So, number 10, fact, there is no collusion that has been shown. And that's what this investigation was supposed to be about. So now we go to number 9. If there is no collusion, there is no real specific crime. Mueller has yet to find or pinpoint any specific crimes committed by Trump campaign officials in terms of collusion or anywhere else. But yet, yes, he's got Flynn on lying. But as I will discuss in a minute, Michael Flynn is lying about something that's completely unconnected. Not connected at all to what this investigation by Mueller is supposed to be about. So there's no crime that's been pinpointed. Number 8, Russia would not oppose the UN resolution. You're not going to hear CNN or MSNBC talking about this too much, but this is very interesting. It comes out now, and this is a fact that, you know, these leftists and the leftist media is not mentioning. When the Russian ambassador Sergei Kislyak was speaking to Flynn, and the conversations that they were having, which by the way had nothing to do with any kind of collusion during the campaign, they're discussing Trump's opposition to the UN resolution against Israel. That's what the discussion was about. And Flynn wanted them to postpone, you know, not vote on it, or, you know, to oppose it, etc., whatever the discussion was. But Kislyak said that Russia would not vote against the resolution if it came to a vote. So the Trump administration is against the resolution. Flynn is speaking to Russia about it, to the ambassador about it, but Kislyak makes it clear that Russia is not going to vote against the resolution. And the Trump administration is against this resolution. So my question is, what kind of collusion is going on here if Russia is indicating that it's not going to go along with certain things that Flynn is speaking about? Turns out that maybe Russia doesn't owe a lot of favors in terms of all of this hype and in terms of this fantasy world of some kind of a collusion here during the campaign. So number 7, fishing expedition. This is something that especially Andrew McCarthy has brilliantly, profoundly pointed out at his work at National Review. Ladies and gentlemen, the FBI knew that there was no evidence that Flynn had committed a crime or that Trump had anything to do with Russian espionage. So in other words, Mueller is on a fishing expedition. Now, this is totally against the rules here. Usually a special counsel, a prosecutor, is assigned only after evidence of an actual crime has emerged. They haven't even proven a crime. There's no indication of any crime. But somehow a special counsel comes along and Mueller is basically just fishing, trying to find something. And this is very much against the rules, very wrong, to say the least. So what are we basically seeing here? There's no crime that's been indicated. A fishing expedition is going on. What's really happening? Fact number 6, partisan witch hunt. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is a partisan and political witch hunt. Mueller's investigation is law enforcement punishing Trump on behalf of the left for winning the election and opposing Obama policy. That's really what this is all about. So this is a political witch hunt. This is law enforcement pretending that it's doing something in terms of law enforcement, but really it's the left punishing Trump. And they're trying to create so much slander, so much smear, so many problems over here, over here, over here, that they want to create the grounds for impeachment. And again, everything that we're hearing about and what's lately happened with Flynn has nothing to do with what this investigation is supposed to be about. Fact number 5, the entrapment of Flynn. Michael Flynn lied about what he could have told the truth about. My friends, it is perfectly lawful and proper for officials of a new administration to communicate with other governments during a transition. It's standard operating procedure. It's happening all the time. This is why Andrew McCarthy points out at National Review that it's why it's called a transition. It is not illegal for the incoming administration to contact officials of foreign governments, and it's not even illegal if they undermine the incumbent administration. Now, this Logan Act, which everybody's talking about, which purports to criminalize foreign affairs freelancing by unauthorized individual, it's unconstitutional. If it wasn't unconstitutional, Mueller would have charged Flynn with violating it, but he didn't do that. Why? Because everybody does it. Obama is presently doing that right before our eyes, visiting China with the president. We know, look at what the Obama's people were doing during the transition in their talks with Iran and Syria. Look at what Jimmy Carter was doing in terms of the Palestinians. Look at what Jesse Jackson was doing with the North Koreans. This is standard procedure. There is nothing wrong with what Flynn did. And another thing, my friends, the Obama administration itself authorized Flynn's contacts with the Russians during Trump's transition. A week before Trump's inauguration, the State Department spokesman, Mark Toner, affirmed that there was nothing, quote unquote, necessarily inappropriate about contact between members of the incoming administration and foreign officials, because Flynn was part of the transition team. So why did Flynn lie? Look, we don't have all the answers. We don't know what's in Flynn's head, but I will tell you this. The left created this witch hunt from the very beginning about Russians, Trump, Russians, collusion, Russians, Trump, collusion. And I would say that part of this is that Flynn felt he had to lie because there was a bit of paranoia and fear because of all these malicious accusations of Russian collusions by the left. All right? And so he also made a mistake on some levels, but the FBI had actually conducted itself in a very inappropriate way. The FBI already knew that Flynn had talked to Kislyak, and it knew the substance of his conversations. So the question is, why did they ask him about it? Right? So they had put the pressure on him, and the way that it had happened is Flynn actually didn't even know that when they were coming over to speak to him on that particular occasion, that it was going to be a formal interview and an interrogation, and he didn't have his lawyer with him. Overall, what happened there is entrapment. Fact number 4, FBI agent, a Trump hater. Ladies and gentlemen, it turns out that the FBI agent, Peter Strzok, that was leading this witch hunt against Michael Flynn, was actually and is actually a hater of Trump and a fan of Hillary. Text messages have come out in terms of him sharing his distaste for Trump, and we know that that day, as I had just said, that Strzok had headed over there. His boss, Andrew McCabe, had contacted Michael Flynn by phone and said that some agents were heading over to the White House, and Flynn thought that it was just part of some routine work. He didn't know that it was going to be a formal interview until the FBI had actually gotten there, and he didn't have an attorney with him. But this is very significant that Strzok, that was heading all of this, hates Donald Trump. So, you know, more and more problems with this whole investigation. Connected to fact number 4, fact number 3, Hillary's aides lying to the FBI. Peter Strzok, my friends, was involved not just in investigating Trump and that witch hunt against Trump and Michael Flynn, where he found Flynn lying about, you know, that he was meeting with the Russians about something that's not even connected to the investigation. He was investigating Hillary for the email server scandal. And guess what? It turns out that not only Hillary was lying, her aides were lying. So Strzok interrogated and interviewed, well, I'm sure he didn't interrogate, he interviewed, quote unquote, Cheryl Mills and Huma Abedin, and they had lied about the email server case. It is completely known now that Mills and Abedin lied about not knowing about the email server. They said that they knew nothing about it. It has turned out that they did know about it. Where are the charges? Where's the prosecution? Where's the plea deals? So Huma's aides get to lie, and they don't get charged, but when Flynn lies, he gets charged. Where's the FBI's explanation over this? Fact number 2, investigation into leak of Flynn, question mark. So we have to really ask here, what is this investigation of Flynn all about? Why hasn't an investigation of this investigation been conducted? How did it happen that Flynn was under surveillance, and what was this eavesdropping all about in the first place? Why did FBI officials ask Flynn about all of these things if they knew what he was already talking about and they knew that no crime had been committed? What was the eavesdropping all about? Also, very importantly, how did the media, how did the public find out about all of this? Because there was a leak. And the leak came from the Obama people. Where is the investigation into this leak? And so therefore, my friends, fact number 1, the investigation is the crime. And this credit, the credit goes out to Daniel Greenfield at frontpagemag.com that has made this point very, very profoundly, very powerfully. The investigation by Mueller is the crime. And in terms of everything I just said, it is now clear that there needs to be an investigation of Mueller's investigation. Thank you for joining the Jamie Glazov Moment tonight. We'll see you next week. Good night.